Okay, we're continuing the Chazzarah, Semicha Beis. We left off at the end of Siv Dalet. We saw where the Mechaber Rimah. We just left off with the Sugya of Trei Mashu, we didn't do yet. So we'll try to do it today. Then we'll continue Siv Hey. So we spoke about, at the end of Siv Dalet, about Hanan. Chanam b'shari surim, chanam b'yavish b'yavish, chanam b'lach b'lach. Now the Taz brings in a shayla about mashu. So certainly surim that we know, we saw already later on, in the other simanim, there are certainly surim that are issa mashu. Chametz Pesach, it's avodah zarah. There's certainly surim that are issa mashu. Tamashesh lamatirim, bebato afil ve'elef. There's certain things that are asur even though there's 1,000 times it. That's called an Issa Mashu. So if you have an Issa Mashu that goes into a Chaticha, so that Asas B'Mashu goes into a Chaticha, so even if there's no Shishim, even if there is Shishim, it's still awesome. Let me say a big piece of meat, a drop of an Issa that goes in, Issa Avodah Zarah, let's say Yayin Esach, the Lacha is the whole piece of meat is awesome no matter what, it's not bottled. That's called an Issa Mashu. So the Taz brings down over here that if on an Issa Mashu you won't say Chanan. So if you have an Issa Mashu that falls into a Chaticha, that Chaticha, even though it's Asr, but you won't say Chanan, that falls into another pot, you won't need Shishim, Keneged, the whole piece. There's no Chanan. That's what it means that you don't say by Issa Mashu Chanan. But the obvious question is,
so if it falls into another pot, what happens then?
So a pashtus?
The piece is Asr.
Take out the piece?
And if it got Nivlal maybe?
No, so if it falls apart,
yeah.
Then you have to have Shishim Kenegda, yeah. So you have to have Shishim Kenegda.
Well, no, Shishim
Actually, sorry, you're Shishim Kenegda.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you need only Shishim Kenegda the original.
You already have Shishim Kenegda.
Right, you already have it. It's mutter.
Yeah, but it would be mutter.
It's mutter, right. Yeah, if it falls apart, it's mutter.
Issa Mashu is still there.
Oh, so that's the question. The question is, let's say it falls apart.
Right.
But the Suda Mashu is still there.
Yeah.
So it's still the Issa Mashu. So why is the Issa Mashu itself Aser the second Kedera?
Right.
That's the big question here.
It doesn't be the end, no?
It is. It's in the Chaticha.
No, but it's not.
It's in the Chaticha.
That the drop balls of Yain Nesach, the God gets into the thing. So that makes it Aser. Once it's in there,
yeah. So now it falls into
Yain Nesach. No, it's no more. It's no more. It doesn't have a din anymore.
Why? It's there. This is still inside the piece of meat.
Okay, it's not right.
Not even a drop.
It was Yain Nesach, pure Yain Nesach, falls onto a drop of piece of milk,
meat.
That's it, finished. So that piece is over.
Where's the nicker? Where do you see the?
There is no, but it was nicker. In a state of Isser, it came down. Now it's below inside the meat.
So what?
So it's already, it has whatever.
So not even a drop of it to come out. All you need is one drop of it to come out, a mashru to come out into the second pot. So not even a mashru comes out to the second pot?
I'm saying something different, but maybe it doesn't make a difference. In other words, it's not that what's going to come out is going to be in other words, when it comes in as the wine that goes into the meat, it's something that is be'en, it stands on its own, it's actually the Isser that's there. So that's the mashru. Once it's inside the meat, it's part of that meat. It's not anymore nicker. Yes, even if you're going to say...
Why are you saying? So it's not wine anymore? It's not called wine?
Yes, it loses its It loses its din of this
Yain Nesach?
Of Yain Nesach.
Why?
Because you can't drink this wine from.
Yeah, but there's a mashu in there. If that drop, if a drop of that comes out the next pot, it's your ass of it.
But you can't taste it.
Maybe
you can't taste it. It's a mashu. It's a mashu.
It's a better example. Even if it goes into the second pot, the chametz doesn't go away.
Chametz Pesach. It's a chametz going into something. Right, drop of chametz going into a big pot. Now the whole pot falls into something else. So you're right, there's no chanan, the whole pot also.
You don't need
Shishim
would need more. Is it change its status or not?
Shishim would work.
That does not change its status.
It shouldn't change its status. That Issa Mashu should still stay also. That's the question they all ask. The Taz Mashach.
Spoiled milk, it's still milk, but it's not spoiled.
It's not spoiled. It's regular Isser Mashu.
Maybe that's the Isser of a Mashu, that it never goes away. It always remains.
It's always there, so it's Aser.
Right.
It's always Aser. That's what they ask here. That's what the Taz and the Shach both ask.
But we know it doesn't. The starting point is it doesn't answer the second.
Oh, we'll see. We'll see. There's something called. We don't say Shay Mashu. We don't say Chanan. What do you mean? Who gives him say Chanan or not?
Yeah.
What do you need Chanan for? Anyway, it answers.
Yeah.
The Mashu itself. Forget about Chanan.
Yeah. It's even worse Chanan in a way.
It's even worse than Chanan because you don't need
Chanan. Would even work against.
Yeah, nothing would work.
Yeah, nothing would work.
Nothing would work. It's the Mashu was still there.
Yeah.
That's the kasha they ask. So if you look in the Taz, it's called in Taz Zion. The Taz says. Yeah, Taz. A few lines in. Konservator. See it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Konservator. Das bei der Tam. Sheposach she'af b'shari surb efshel seichte oser. V'chtis nasen revela. Dafka ben noisin tam. Shlehoye beheter samach levatel le'isser. There wasn't in the head of samach levatel le'isser shenivleboy. Avo neser b'mashuhu. If something became osir in a mashuhu, give us some time. Avo neser b'mashuhu. Afilu neser machmas minoi. She'osir b'mashuhu. Rabbi Yehuda. Le'nasis kula nevela. The whole thing does not become nevela. That's what the halacha is, that you don't say on a mashuhu nevela. That's the first part. But now you're going to ask me, fine, we don't say nevela, but the Issa Mashu itself travels on. So if you look in the Taz later on, see exactly where it is here. Look, if you look later on in the Taz, a few lines later, in the old Shulchan Aruch, it's in the skinny lines, the second to the last one. The new ones, I'm not sure where it is. It's got a couple of lines after what we just read.
Yeah, it's on the next page in our Lamed page. It's about 3, 6, 8 lines down, the last 2 words in the column.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, returns by time is illustrated. And he gufa mitzvah, v'choshu, v'kamokim la'minan shetiyasa nevela le'eser kol acheres, kivit she'atzma le'nesra ela b'koldu. Right, that's what we just saw before. Ad kan l'shoyne. Mevorim zeh, ta'afa pish Rabbi Yehuda v'min b'minay b'mashu. Rabbi Yehuda holds min b'minay is b'mashu. V'kamokim, haynu davko shetchila Neser b'mashu. Avol im nispashal achakach b'minai ein koyach lesar. The Taz says min b'minai is b'mashu. Min b'minai is b'mashu, that when you cook it with its min, it can answer right away min b'minai b'mashu. But when you're going ahead and you're taking that issa, which is issa mashu, and you're cooking it a second time, you want it to come out and answer a second time. Says the Taz, Ein koyach lesa.
This is Rabbi Yehuda's position always on everything.
Yeah. He holds Mimimina is a mashu.
Right.
Right? So Mimimina falls into each other, and then it falls again into Mina again. Right? So the second time it falls into Mina, the Chayra you should have the first thing that fell in, that's called A, B, and C. Yeah. A fell into B, and they both fell into C. So A, the same way A answered B, A should answer C.
It's still a mashu in C.
It's still a mashu in C.
Yeah.
Says it ain't koyach lesar. Once it was in a chaticha, it came into a chaticha, it doesn't have a koyach anymore to come out and answer. That's what Taz is mahalach.
Eliezer, that's what you were saying.
No.
No.
He said this is not there anymore.
I'm sorry?
He said this is not there anymore. This is there. You can't answer b'mashu.
The swar I said was because one is in the wine in its original state. Okay, whatever the.
Okay, this is what he said. I don't know, fine.
Only if there was shishim in the first chaticha.
Only if there was shishim in the first chaticha, yeah.
If there wasn't, then the entire chaticha we would say
chanan. Correct. So the next words that the Taz are hard to understand. It says, Ein koyach le'aser, im yesh samach neged hachaticha shenetzer. And this Taz is very hard to understand. The Pirugod really asks on the Taz. The Taz holds, even though we don't say Chanan, right? And it's a Mashahu, still you need Shishim Cheneged the Chaticha. Right? That means we don't say Chanan of an Isim Mashahu.
Interesting.
That means, what does Chanan mean? Chanan means Isim Mashahu falls into another Chaticha. So now you should, this thing should answer
The
entire pot, even if there is shishim. Because there is a mashu, asks forever. So if we say chanan on this piece of meat, this piece of meat has a din like the issa mashu, so it can fall into 1,000, it's still asa.
Yeah, but not als chanan. Als the fact that it's still
no, the first mashu. The first A. We're talking about B now. A, the Taz says, ain't koyach lesa. A falls into B, they both fall into C. Says the Taz, A ain't koyach lesa anymore. There's no koyach to asa further. But how about B? Is B asa? So Pashas you learn that B now is totally mut when it falls into another pot. You may have to take B out. But you don't need shishim connected B. Right? You don't need shishim connected the chaticha because there's no issa here b'chlal. You negate everything else. This was a mashu. Now no time is coming out. You don't say chanan. The Taz says no, you need shishim neged the chaticha. The question is why? Shach argues, the Pirmagodim argues. If you don't say chanan over here, then you don't need shishim neged the chaticha either, but that's what the Taz says. Im yesh samach neged the chaticha shenesra. So that's the Taz's shita. To be another mafkamina, according to the Taz. Let's say you have lach balach. We just spoke about if you have a isim mashru falling into a chaticha. That chaticha falls into another pot. The halacha is the isim mashru in the chaticha ain't by koyach lesser. But if the isim mashru is lach balach, you have yayin nesach falling into other yayin, and now the whole thing falls into another pot. There's no such thing as ain't koyach lesser anymore. The same way, after the first one, the lach, after the second one. That would be a difference. Lach b'lach would be asr. Not as chanan. Asr is a mashu, that asr in the first thing, asr is again in the second thing.
But Isser lach b'lach, do we call it an Isser mashu? Do we even call it?
Yeah.
We still call it?
Yeah. So it's a mashu. If you have a mashu of yayin nesach falling into a vat of yayin. And then that vat of yayin
falls into a truckload of yayin.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. The original mashu is still a mashu.
So asr. It stays asr. It always stays asr.
Forever.
Forever.
So everything goes to war in garbage?
Because it is a mashu.
But you lost it. You don't know which one is which one. You say you loaded it.
It's lach b'lach.
I want you to see if you got them
a drum
inside.
and you put another 100 drums and you send it. Now you lost which one is exact drum. So what do you
That's
do?
different. That's not what he's talking about. He's talking about where you pour the actual liquid
you pour in the toast,
into
in the big
another.
dose vat.
That's called lach b'lach.
Oh, so this goes garbage.
Right.
Here, look. If you look in the Taz, in the Mishpat Zav, so that's one line. Mishpat Zav, that's what I see it inside. The Mishpat Zav, Shishkan Tezayin. The meat starts oit kosev atad l'trei mashu v'avai.
Yes, it's right on the next page, in the middle, where the little hand is.
In the old Shulchan Aruch.
In Mishpat Zahav.
Right.
Yeah.
The little finger pointing.
Little finger.
Have it, yeah?
Page Kuflam Gimel.
It's Mishpat Taz, Mishpat Shishkan Tezayin. Things like for me, it's page 440. Second column, oit kosev. See it? Oit kosev atad l'trei mashu v'avai.
Yes, right.
Hine, who's al sever, which is the Taz, the davar hanese b'mashu, ein koyach b'mashu lotzeit l'chutz, af al yedei roitiv. If it falls into a chaticha, it cannot leave even with roitiv. Meaning there's no koyach for it to asa because it'll never leave. A mashu gets stuck in the chaticha, and that mashu will never leave and go asa something else. This is only when it's in the chaticha. Lach b'lach, you don't have that. Only in the chaticha itself. That line is important to know. Fine. If you look a little further in that same Prima Godim,
So
he brings the Shach.
Would the Taz would the Taz learn the Spiro of Rabbi Yehuda here in Min B'Mino to learn that to other inyanim of mashahu and things?
Yes.
So he's trying to say that we would hold when we would hold something as asur b'mashahu the same way that Rabbi Yehuda would hold here.
Chametz of Pesach,
right.
or Zavashish Nagatirim, any of these things that are asur b'mashahu, if it falls into a chaticha, there's no chanan. Meaning, if that chaticha falls into something else, according to the Taz, we need shishim connected to that chaticha, for whatever the reason is, but you won't say it asks b'mashu further. If it's lach, then you don't say chanan, but the issur itself is there, and then asks again further. That's a shach. That's a Taz Mahalach.
It's interesting because on Pesach we usually say the batal b'shishim doesn't really apply, but here's one little nikud where you do use batal b'shishim even on Pesach.
Right. Right. It's a mashu of chametz that falls into davar chaticha.
Yeah.
That you falls into something else.
That falls into something else. You use that fact that it was shishim to be matter it now.
Correct.
But not because it's chametz.
Because it's nishmas.
You're saying it's not chametz anymore.
Right.
It's not chametz anymore.
Right.
What is this?
God doesn't say that lashon. He says lashon. You can't get it out. He says you can't get it out.
You say that you found a spot, because otherwise, if you say that it's chametz, then you can't be batal b'shishim on Pesach.
You don't need to. You don't. The way the Pri Megadim was learning, you don't need to be mevatel it because it never comes out.
Different mechanics.
It never comes out.
Come out.
It never comes out. So you don't need to be mevatel it.
Right.
Right.
That's the Pri Megadim learns.
Because on Pesach you can't be mevatel something b'shishim.
Right.
It doesn't work.
You can't be mevatel
It
it.
depends on shishim though.
No, because this.
Yeah. No.
It only works
No. According to the Pri Megadim, the shishim connected to chaticha.
Correct. Right.
That's a funny thing.
Yeah.
Which is
why?
And that's the mitzvah of kasha.
Right. Why do you teach him?
What do you need
But
to
he's
do?
right.
You don't need
he's
to.
right. You can have something come to Pesach and shishim would work. Connected to chaticha. Yeah, it's not connected to chametz. You're right.
Connected to chametz.
Because the chametz is not connected to chametz doesn't come out.
Well, that says it. You can't be mevatel
Right.
chametz during Pesach.
It's not shishim connected to chametz. It's shishim connected to chaticha. The chametz is in.
And even that, the kasha, they say, why do you need it?
Yeah, why do you shishim? That's the kasha they asked in the house.
Okay.
That's the Taz Mahalach. The Shach in the Kudas of Kesef argues in the Taz, and he holds, first of all, if it's a mashu falls into chaticha, you don't need shishim connected to chaticha. But he has a whole different shot in the Taz, and he says, if you look at the Kudas of Kesef, he's bothered that the Issa Mashu always comes out. That Issa Mashu, as the Taz says, by Davar Yavesh, it's stuck inside, never leaves it. The Kudas of Kesef doesn't like that. He says it always goes out. The Issa Mashu could always come out. So you're right, you don't say Chanan, but what happened to the Issa Mashu? Why should the Issa Mashu answer the next thing? So the Shach comes up with a Chiddush. I speak outside, don't see it inside. The Shach comes out with a Chiddush. He says the only time you'll say you don't say Trei Mashu is when there's Min B'minoi, and then only asks Min B'minoi. Something only asks Min B'minoi, then you don't say Trei Mashu. Why? Because the Isser Mashu came into a heter, it asks B'mashu. What's coming out now? Isser v'heter muravim yachad into Minoi again. That's what they call Mimshei Minoi. That's what the Kudas of Kesef says. Once you have Isser and Heter coming out together, that's called Mimshei Minoi.
Even though it's the same min.
Even though it's the same min, it's called Mimshei Minoi.
Right. The difference is the Isser v'heter. They're different in Isser
right.
v'heter.
The different Isser v'heter, that makes it Mimshei Minoi. That's what the Shach learns. Right. So in the case, for example, according to Rabbi Yehuda, the only min b'minoi is not bottle. Mimshei Minoi is bottle. And over here it's called Mimshei Minoi, it should be bottle. But She'enkein Chomet to Pesach, where even min b'she'eni minoi is not bottle, then you do say there's the Isser of Trei Mashus. That's what the Shach learns. You look in the Shach, in the Kudas of Kesef, he says, a few lines in, V'chein nira, be'emes. You see it?
Yeah. 8 lines down on the first column.
In those Shulchan, the Kudas Kesef is on the right side of the page. It says, "V'chein nira be'emes." V'makom mokem oisei tam mashru shebechaticha rishona oiseres shuv hoacheres. It asks the other ones. Even the chametz of Pesach mashru bein b'minoi bein shloi b'minoi. ולא דומי למה שכוסף התויסס והראש והתור גבי מן במינה לרבי יהודה, דנסר החתיכה תחילה במשהו מחמס מינה ונסבר של אחר כך, אם החתיכה זכייס אין איסרס במשהו, אף על פי שהוא מינם, because we don't say trei mashu lo minan, so why over there don't we say it? And if we come to Pesach, do we say it afterwards? To hasem hainu time with the kivin lo minan, the chaticha nasis nevela, kivin shlo neser b'noisen tam. Im kein lekkel meimah, you cannot say the oisei mashu b'chatichos, yes, or kol chatichos or acheros. The mashu that's in the chaticha, even though it's coming out, it cannot ask the other chatichos. Why? The kivin the chaticha lenasis nevela, the chaticha itself doesn't become nevela. Im can have a oisei mashu legabe chatichos or acheros minoi. It's not called minoi. The Shemina, the Rabbi Yehuda, the Omar, min b'minoi, le'batul ela k'sho'oisei minhu shal isser levadoi. Avaloi k'shekoyach achad me'urev boi. V'achanami kivin shechaticha lenasis nevela, im kein oisei mashu me'urev b'koyach acher, which is heter. You have an isser and you have a heter. V'choshev einai minoi legabe chatichas or acherois, the oisei mashu me'urev v'chatichas einai muravim im ein min zeh adayim l'chaveroi. So that's basically the shach's mahalach is that if you don't say chanan, so the chaticha itself is mutter, the inside is aser, therefore it's called min b'sheinai minoi.
So he's not really arguing Rabbi Yehuda, he's just saying this isn't min b'mina. Is that right? He agrees with the way Rabbi Yehuda is learning.
Correct.
He said this is, but that only applies by min b'mina.
Min b'minoi.
But he's making a distinction.
Right, because by min b'minoi is because you don't say trei mashu by min b'minoi. Why not? Because min b'minoi is you have the isser going into heter, then that going into minoi is really called min b'she'en minoi. Min b'she'en minoi, because koyach achad me'uravoy.
Yeah.
Whatever the shach means, we don't understand exactly what it means, but it's called koyach achad me'uravoy. Now it's called min b'she'en minoi.
So he's saying it is going to come out of the piece of meat.
It is going to come out of the piece of meat.
With or without Reitiv, or only with Reitiv?
Yeah, only with Reitiv. Always only leaves the meat with Reitiv.
Okay, so it's going to come out.
Right, with Reitiv.
It's going to come out.
Correct.
But because it's min b'minoi, min b'she'en minoi.
So in the Yehuda's case, where only min b'minoi is aser, it won't be aser.
Right.
But in the case where even min b'she'en minoi is aser, for example, the case of Pesach, Chometz to Pesach, then here it's going to be aser. And the same thing, Davar Shesh Lamatirim says the Shach. Davar Shesh Lamatirim we learned is only min b'minoi is the problem. Min b'she'en minoi, it is batul. That will be the same thing as Rabbi Yehuda's case.
So would he still hold trei mashu? You don't say trei mashu?
The Shach?
Yeah.
Only according to Rabbi Yehuda. Only according to me, when it's a min b'minoi, is the only isser. Because according to the Shach, you have to go check. This isser, according to Rabbi Yehuda, min b'minoi only. Min b'she'en minoi is batal b'shishim. So here it's called min b'she'en minoi, it's a batal b'shishim. Davar shesh lematirim. Min b'minoi is lebatal filu be'elef. Min b'she'en minoi davar shesh lematirim is batal b'shishim. So you take davar shesh lematirim, it falls into a chaticha. That chaticha falls into something else. Now it's ready min b'she'en minoi. Then it won't become batal. Oh, sorry. Then it won't become batal. No, sorry. By the extra matirim, only min b'minoi is batal. Is not batal. I mean, min b'she'en minoi is batal. So here it would be batal because the extra matirim, min b'she'en minoi is batal. Chometz b'Pesach with sai minoi, sai eini minoi is not batal. So here, even though it's koyach achad me'uravoy, falling into another einoi minoi, as we call it, still it's not batal because Pesach is never batal even b'she'en minoi. So then you would have a trei mashu with asma. If you look at the Pri Megadim, also one line of the Pri Megadim, we're looking inside, it'll help us out. The Pri Megadim says in that same shtickle we had before, it says Omnam hashach b'nekudas hakesef. It's most of the way down.
Oh yeah, the way down. Yeah. It's on the other part.
Amnam Ashach ben Nekudas HaKesed Yesh Derech HaCheres. V'chein Hishkan Morgan Avram Lachas Pesach v'Chok Yaakov Sham. Tevadai Mashu Yoytze Ayidei Roitev. Ela Deloy Nasis Levela B'Mashu Tedumi D'Basa B'Chola B'inon. So it does come out.
We said that before also. Even the way the Shach learned it.
This is the Shach. This is in the Nekudas HaKesed. Oh no, Shach ben Nekudas HaKesed Yesh Derech HaCheres. But this line, this is the important line to see that this is the chiluk the Shach and the Taz.
Right.
The Taz learns it goes into Chaticha, it doesn't come out. Lach b'lach, wood aser. And according to the Taz, lach b'lach would aser, even by according to Yehuda, Mimiminoy. Right, it's a chumrah of the Shach, a Taz. Even by according to Yehuda, lach b'lach would aser. According to the Shach, lach b'lach would never aser. Right. Because now it's called Ein Eminoi, because it's Koy Chacham Oravoy. Fine. I don't think we went through this when we looked at the first one, did we?
We just touched on Trey Mashu. We just touched on.
Yeah, I think we went through it well. I think we're in a rush for some reason.
No, it's
Yeah. Fine. Let's see Sifei. Right, Tipas Chalaf Shnaf Al Akdeira She'etz Eloish Vivachutz. So now, let's a quick akdama for the Sif. If you have Tipas Chalaf fell from the outside. Before we spoke about Tipas Chalaf fell on one of the chatichas of meat in the pot. Here we're talking about Tipas Chalaf that fell on the outside of the pot. Now, it goes into the walls of the pot, and it spreads. So it spreads in the walls of the pot. The smag holds that a tipa that falls onto a pot asks the whole pot. The Merami Rothenberg says that it spreads maybe up to Shishim, or whatever, 59 times the tipa. So now you have a whole area around that tipa that stays also, because maybe it didn't spread past that. We don't know how much it spread, and therefore you'll need Shishim Amam Shishim in the things in the pot. In the tafshil, connected the tipa. The smak says that no, it depends. If it fell connected the roitiv, then we say it goes straight into the food. If it fell connected the reikon, empty part of the pot, then we say it gets spread up to 59 times the amount, and maybe it stopped before it hit the tafshil. Therefore, that part of the pot, that blotch of the pot, could stay also. That's basically the Menam Rotberg. I'm not going to go through all the whole Taz over here. That's basically what we have to know. And that's what we paskin. We paskin like the smak, that we say if it fell connected to roitiv, it goes straight through. Whatever goes in goes straight through. You don't need samach from samach, you don't need 60 times 60 of the tipa. If it goes connected to reikon, then we say it spread in the area of 59 times the tipa, and it didn't go into the tafshil. Once it went into the tafshil, then the tafshil can move out to the tipa. We say it stopped before the tafshil, and therefore that part of the pot is also what we're going to do about it. We'll see in Sifei. So tipas cholov shenafal akderish eitzel eish vivachutz on the outside of the pot. If nafla connected a tafshil, it fell connected where the tafshil is. Ein tzarich elasamach connected a tipa. All you need is 60 connected the tipa. Why shemefafas lefnim? It bubbles into the tafshil. V'haver k'ilu nafla v'tafshil. Says if it fell into the tafshil directly. That is if it falls connected to the tafshil. It's Kedai speak out over here that the Shach says, and I'm sure the Ramah later on, that the pot itself still is asur. That means you say a tipa fell into the walls of the pot, whatever fell into the tafshil became batal b'shishim. But it could be some of the chalav stayed in the walls of the pot. And that became asur, because there's basar b'chalav in the walls of the pot. So the pot still, we don't say for sure all the chalav passed through and ended up in the tafshil. The choishes that maybe it all ended up in the tafshil, and shishim connected the tipa, and the choishes that maybe it stayed in the pot. But one thing we're not choishes is that it spread out on the walls of the pot 59 times That's tipa.
And it won't be mevatel in the contents of the pot?
It won't be?
Mevatel within the contents of the pot.
What? The pot itself or the contents of the pot?
The pot.
No, because it could be the chalav is still in the walls of the pot.
So what's the spar of the marshal when he's matter it?
Matter what?
Pot.
Yeah, so the truth is, it's only a chumrah.
Because we do think that it goes
because
all
the pot
through.
everything, the pot
the
and...
spar was that it goes through, and whatever is going to be left really would be mevatel within the pot. Within the walls of the bleeds of the pot. Otherwise...
Why?
Well, how else do you have
it's
it?
bottled within the bleeds of the shishim, in the walls of the pot.
Yes.
But that's to come on to that. That's what the Mashal says, or because...
I mean, I'm asking this for. I mean, because if you make it in such a way that saying that something's left behind and it's not being mevatel, then how do you matter it?
How you matter what, the tafshil?
No, everyone
the pot.
is the pot.
The pot, yeah, because it goes through. Everything mixes together. If it goes to the tafshil, everything mixes together.
Right, but once you bring up a spar that says that you might say something's going to be left behind,
right,
then you're stuck. So you're saying you're choishish or you're not choishish with that?
You're choishish with that. Something is left behind, and therefore, the next time you cook it again, you'll need shishim to get that tipa. That's what part of it. What do you want to say? It's bread, and you need shishim, palm shishim, or?
No, that's going to be vatal in the shishim of the pot.
But let's say it's not. Let's say it's stuck in the walls of the pot. Let's say it's stuck in the walls of the pot. So you have not chalav in the walls of the pot. So you have most of the chalav in the walls of the pot. That tipa is most of the chalav.
The contents of the pot.
Why does the shach insist that you pour it out immediately in this case?
Oh, because the way we're learning now is the pot is still also.
The pot is also, yeah. The shach says it's also, yeah.
So the pot is also, you can't use the also pot. You have to kasher the pot. That's below right away.
Becoming more usher over time.
Right.
Yeah.
With skin now maybe what happens is the tipa scholar became also in the walls.
Yeah. Spreads.
Right? And now it's slowly. No, there will be shishim.
There will be shishim.
There will be shishim. It's both of them shishim. But now the longer you leave it, the more issa is coming in, the more it's becoming bottle. The more issa is becoming bottle, and aim bottle is lechatchila.
Okay, I never thought that.
Yeah, what's happening is
I was thinking that maybe the tipa would expand and the isser in the pot would expand.
No,
and
we're not worried about that.
Eventually there wouldn't be shishim.
No, we're not worried about that. The reason why I have to put it right away is because right now that isser is still on the walls of the pot. And now it could be coming in slowly into the pot. You're right, once it comes into the pot, it's both of shishim. But you're not lechatchila do that. Lechatchila you have to get rid of it. You have to get the tafshil out of the pot. If you look in the...
You don't make a distinction about the type of pot, right?
No, not yet. We haven't made a distinction. If you look in the shach, you've caught in Yud Ches. There you see the Tzai Tipa Scholar, Zel Shai Tzmak, Tipa Shenafal Defen, Akli, Misfeika, Misapkulon, Pek Tam Chatas, even if a favor with Chol Akli, or Eloi. He looks like Shenafal negative reitiv, if he is reitiv, Samach Men Atipa, Mutter Monashech. Even if a favor with Chol Akli, Harin is battle. If it goes throughout the whole Kli, it's battle Rishishim. V'meinu v'feya, oz lo yaser, kloimar, v'meinu v'feya b'chol ha'kli, oz lo yaser mishum, t'b'stama v'feya l'fnim, v'havak ilu nafla b'tafshul, kach perish b'zesef. That's if it fell connected to tafshul. Abu nafla b'reikon, shem v'feya b'defen agdeira, ad samach l'reitiv kol kach, she'ein samach min atipa, v'nas oisem mixas kli nevela. Right? That is the smak. The Shach is going to test says, "Ein tzarich al tzamach negatipo, hainu lahatir atafsho, aval hakadera mikol mokam asura." The kadera is still also why? Because that tipa maybe got stuck in the walls of the pot. V'yera miyad hatafsho b'tzad fa'al achar. Right away you should pour it out. And the reason why you should pour it out right away is because if it's lying in an osir pot, you have to take it out, even though it becomes bottle. So kids, we're looking at a tipa falls connected a roitiv. Make it adin, go straight through, everything is mutter. But machmir, that we say, maybe the tipa's cholov stayed in the pot, and it became osir, and then you have isser of a tipa lying in the pot. You pour it out, you put heter in again, so you need shishim connected to the tipa. Again, till you cash from the pot. V'im nafla, says the mechaber vayta, v'im nafla b'mokem ha-reikon, if it fell connected to the empty part of the pot, and it spreads throughout the walls of the gdera at samach l'roitiv kol kach Shein Samach Neged Atipa. There's no 60 Keneged Atipa. Harei Nesar Oisei Mokaim HaKadera. That part of the Kadera becomes also why? Because you have basar in the pot, walls of the pot. You have a tipa coming in. There's no shishim levatloi. Now you have basar b'cholov in the walls of your pot. That blotch of 59 times the tipa is asr. If you're going to pour out the tafshil on that side, that it became asr, harayeser hatafshil, the tafshil will become asr, unless you have in the tafshil 60 times that blotch, right?
Mm-hmm. Which is 60 times 60.
The 60 times 60 of the tipa. So what do? If you force connect a reikon, so what happens is, if you're going to pour it out from the side of where it is, it's going to become the tafshil. If you don't have 60 times 60, it's going to become asr. So don't touch it. Leave it. Let everything cool down. Once it cools down, then you can pour it out, because it's not davar cham. It's tzayin b'tzayin. It won't pull out the blias of the pot. Now, this that we're saying, it becomes asr. That area, the shach speaks out right away. It doesn't mean samach pam samach aleph. It means a drop less, because you have to have 59. But if you look towards the end of the shach, sivka and chaf.
Why can't you pour it over the other end, the other side?
Oh, pour it to the other side. Good.
Because you might.
Why can't you pour it to the other side? Let's see. That's what we're seeing in the shach now. Look at the shach first before that. The shach sivka and chaf. Towards the end. Umasha kosav Harav. You see it? The shach sivka and chaf towards the end of the shach. Umasha kosav Harav ba'agah. You see it?
Yeah.
The B'gdei Chadash b'cholin yain tzarek rak samach neged tipa. Rotz aloymen im ira b'diavad. Now it's B'gdei Chadasha, a new part. There's no bleeds in the walls, so nothing becomes asr. So you have a tipa going in. Says the Ramah, then you don't have to worry about anything. Rabbi says, what does it mean you have to worry about anything? Yain tzarek rak samach neged tipa. Rotz aloymen im ira b'diavad. Shagi v'samach neged tipa. The chud. If you happen to have poured it from that side, it's enough samach neged tipa. Don't pour it out for sure from that side, because then vatl is lechatchila. So it's one thing you have to remember. If it's asr, you can't go ahead and rely on the bittul, because you can't do a maisa and then rely on the bittul, because that's called vatl is lechatchila. That's if it falls on a chadasha. Now if it falls on a yeshana, we said leave it till it's standing. So why have to leave it till it's done? I have a different answer. Pour it out from the other side, make a hole on the bottom, and let it come out from there. Says the Shachar Simchan Chafal v'Yigabo Asher L'Stanein Avol Lemahane Sheyinka V'Kli Mitachas. Don't make a hole on the bottom. The Chashinan Shemeyiga Haroite B'Dofen Shenesa Dei Nua. Which is when you're moving the pot, what's going to happen is it spread mamish till where the tafshil is, and then you're going to shake the pot. It's going to go up. And it's going to become asr, because that whole blotch is asr. Kachas v'smakra poiske mashma nami d'lemoyel sheye'era miyad b'tzad achar. Don't pour from the other side either. T'shem v'yinanei hakadera. You may end up shaking the pot when you're pouring it, when you're trying to pour from the other side, and a drop will go up and it become asr from that whole area, that blotch that became asr.
I would have thought that if you knew that you did have shishim keneged the blotch. Yeah, 60 times 60 in the tafshil against that.
Yeah.
Then you could do that, because it wouldn't be mevatlish l'chila, because your intention is that they should not touch. It shouldn't touch. You're trying to make it not touch, but if it did, it's b'diavad, and
so you're saying it's not mevatlish l'chila because you didn't have a mind to do that.
Yeah. So if you knew that it was shishim keneged, then you could drill a hole or pour it against the other side. To me that sounds logical to do that.
The truth is, here we're talking about, it doesn't say here we're talking about the shishim pam shishim. Here we're talking about, maybe there isn't shishim pam shishim. You know what the shach is speaking about over here?
True.
Maybe the shach is speaking about
that if there is shishim pam shishim, I would say that you should be able to do it,
right? Because
your intention is not to be mevatlish l'chila.
Here, if I'm not mistaken, even if the shishim pam shishim you can't do it. What's my raya? don't know if I have a raya. That's what I remember. Let me check out the Piragada. If you have Shish Bar Shishim, you want to say, go ahead and do it. What's the worst thing? It'll go up anyways, bottle.
Yeah.
If there's no Shish Bar Shishim, you say don't do it because they're going to answer it. It's going to stay awesome. So that's what the Piragada says over here. Tzadi Bey's Shach of Aleph.
It's very small, like teaspoon of milk.
That's Shach of Aleph.
Yeah.
Oh, but maybe it's a teaspoon.
You know what Shishim Haim Shishim is about to drop? 6 ounces.
Is it really?
We calculated it out, yeah. There's 20, what do you say, There's 20 drops in 1 milliliter.
In an ounce, no?
No, 20 drops in 1 mil.
Sure, not
So
an
that-
ounce. An ounce
yeah,
is 30.
yeah. Remember there was almost 500 and something drops in that.
600
in
now.
an ounce.
600
600
If it's
drops.
milk over from the one part to another part, and it's a tablespoon of milk, forget it.
Can I have a raya? I'll leave it for Adam to bring me a raya.
Okay.
So I don't understand this further shot, because you see that in the Ramon himself, he brings down later on. He says that you can pour it out from the other side.
No, only just a chat.
That's a different case.
But the point is that you can pour something from the other side. The Ramon wasn't worried about that, right? Further in the Ramon, was like there Surah.
No, because no, that's something else. The case at the Shav, the Ramah is.
Yeah, I know it's a different case.
What's the case of the Ramah? If you leave it, you're worse off. It's connected to the tafshil.
Right.
If you leave it, so then this is going in. So therefore, pour it out right away from the other side. But here we're talking about a case where it's above the tafshil.
Right.
If you're going to leave it, nothing's going to become usher.
Right. The bad thing has already happened by the Ramah. Here, we're
right. Nothing happened yet.
Something bad might happen.
Right. Nothing happened yet. When it went connected to Reikon, if it goes to the tafshil, it's better. It's batal b'shishim. What you worry about it? Acid only around it, and it didn't touch the tafshil. If it didn't touch the tafshil, it's still mutter. By touching anything, it's this shach that it says, don't pour it out from the other side. Don't make a hole in the bottom. It's only in the case where we don't have shishim pama shishim. And if you're going to move it, it's going to become asa. Or even in the case you have sav pama samach because they battles lechatchil. I don't know. Okay, so the halacha is if it's connected to reikon, don't touch it. Wait till it cools down, and then you can take it out. For dafke magderi shana, only if it's an old pot. Why? Because then the blias in the walls of the pot, what's the halacha? They become chanan, they become aser. Avalim hi chadasha, if it's a new pot, chalinyin, ein tzarach samach magnagatipa shenafel aleha kid lekamon sim inside al gabi kaf. You'll never need more than 60 because there's no blias in the pot. So what do you worry about? The area around the tipa became aser. How did it become aser?
It became milchiks.
It became milchiks. It didn't become aser.
Right.
So what are you worried about? Therefore, you only need shishim connected to the tipa, because the tipa spread more. So then when it touches the tafshil, all you have is one tipa. You don't have more than one tipa. Right? That's what the Ramah says. The question is,
you can't say chanan by something that's mutter.
It's more than you can't say chanan. Right. You can't say chanan on what? What's the chanan?
That's what I'm saying. Like you wouldn't ever say chanan on something that's totally mutter.
Right.
Like in no case would you ever do that.
Right. You won't say chanan because the cholov could spread, but it has to come in contact with buffer.
Right.
In order to become aser.
Right.
It never came in contact with buffer.
Right. Fine.
The Shach Sivkan Chav Gimel has a very interesting question. He says, what's the case here? The cholov fell connected to reikon. Right? So it's if it's a new pot, says the Ramah, it's no problem.
But you're cooking meat in it.
How is it cooking in it? It's not a new pot anymore. And meat's going up the size of the pot.
No.
Right? Meat's going up the size of the walls of the pot. So the Pasha Teretz is the first Teretz of the Shach, that what are we always choshesh for? We always choshesh the fell connected to reikon. Let's say an old pot. It fell connected to reikon. It spread 59 times in tipa.
Up to
the tafshil, and then it stopped. Right? The tafshil will go up. This tafshil that's in the pot now would go up. Then it's like it's fell connected to tafshil. The tafshil of the pot is going up the sides of the walls of the pot. So right now you have it fell connected to tafshil.
Which case you have shishim.
Which case shishim is enough. So what are you worried here? By a new one, what are you worried? The tafshil is going up the sides of the wall. So what? So now it's like it's fucking. I got a tafshil. That's a shach's first teretz. This is the chayra. A partial teretz.
He agrees with the Ramah.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't make a difference. Let it be a chadasha.
Yeah.
The tafshil goes up, and it goes up again.
If it's a yeshana, we're worried about tafshil didn't go up. Tafshil stayed where it was. There is belief in the walls of the pot of basar already, and that blash becomes also connected 59 connected the tipa. But if it's a chadasha, what are you worried about? If it goes up, so it's connected to tafshil.
So, in other words, he's saying that you can't have lias in the pot where the reikon where there is no tafshil.
That's the question.
I'm asking.
Maybe not. We don't know how much. We don't know how much it travels. We're always chayshish.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know how it works.
No, we're always chayshish.
Let's say you make a tafshil. You take out
and you cook on the first part.
But maybe lias are in the walls that go all the way up to the top.
Right. Therefore, it's also a chami. You always have to be chayshish.
Right.
But then the
kasha would be on the
no,
how would that answer?
Because it's chadasha. Now it's going up, right?
Yeah.
So now it's connected to tafshil.
It's like a drop spread. The tafshil is going to spread. You got.
Yeah. So we don't know how much it spread. That's the question. If you're going to say that a tafshil every time it's in a pot, it always spreads throughout the walls while it's cooking, so who cares if tipa fell connected to the reikon? It's in a tafshil. Tafshil spreading throughout all the walls of the pot. If the tafshil spread, if you say that tafshil always spreads throughout the walls of the pot, so false connected to reikon, so now it's my tafshil. It's in the walls of the pot. It's in the pot.
The concept of tafshil doesn't exist.
Right. Therefore, we said we don't know how much it spreads. Always chayshish.
Or when it spreads.
Or when it spreads, or how it spreads, we don't know.
You have to figure like a worst case scenario all the time.
Right. You always have to figure out the worst case scenario. So maybe it didn't spread at all. Maybe a tafshil didn't spread on the walls of the pot. So what do you have? I have only old blias in the pot. And the tipa chal touched the old blias. So it comes also through the old blias.
So, this is maybe a stupid question, I was going to ask it anyway. It's like in other contexts, we're very certain of how much blia spread. Like
Correct.
say it's only klipa or natila.
Correct.
We can actually,
Correct.
But in this context,
we're chayshish.
But why can't we just say the same thing that we're the normal spreading of, like I thought we're bakiyats and bakim.
No, we always go with most chumrah. Yes, if it goes, it spreads klipa, so know exactly how much it spreads, right?
Yeah, so how in that
But it could spread up to a klipa. It doesn't mean it always spreads up to a klipa. I'll give you another example, okay? A piece of meat that falls into a kedera. You have it inside the ches. Right? You need shishim to get a piece of meat. Does that mean all its blias came out already?
No, we said that.
We said not.
We don't know how much. We
don't know how much. You always question that maybe the blias came out. You take that same piece of meat and you put it into another pot, you'll still need shishim to the same piece of meat. Why? The blias came out. It says you always take the worst case scenario. How much it's possible for it to spread. K'dei klipa means it's possible for it to spread to k'dei klipa. It's possible for it to spread to kulai. Did it? Avdafka. You can't use it as a kula. Here it will come out a kula. If the tafshil spreads with kula in the walls of the pot, it would come out a kula. You need shishim only connected to tipa. That we don't say.
Because it's like it dropped against the tafshil.
Right.
Because the whole pot is a tafshil.
Right. If you say it spreads throughout the whole pot while it's cooking, even the kula, so then a tipa falls connected even connected to reikon, it should be matter. It should be bottled b'shishim. So that's a shach first teretz. We look at the shach Chav Gimel. Va'af agav l'chayr lo'idami l'kaf d'hosem kivin sheichadosho v'nir achakach behagdera ein tzorich samach ela keneged mashabala al hocha kadera cheshivik ma'ishana. Why? Shemevashlim ba ata basa. Right now you're cooking meat in that pot. V'nafal le'atipas cholav b'shas bishol. V'kamokaim kivin she'ata ba'leser doifen hakadera makmas atipa hachachach tzorich lo'ima shema bishol einim mefafeya. Right away. Here's the way he explains it. Kivin she'ata ba'leser doifen hakadera makmas atipa. Why are you asking the doifen for? It's connected to tafshil. It must be why. Maybe not. It didn't go up. If it did go up l'mayla, right? So you're okay.
If it's spread, you have sheep.
If it's spread, then the tafshil, then the what's called the tipa joins in and goes into the tafshil. If it didn't spread, so then it stays in the manaf. You see right away the shach says that we don't know exactly how much it spreads throughout the walls of the pot while you're cooking it. But another teretz, the ma'abik derech hadashish and nafal the tipa shadayin like chama tafshil. The tafshil wasn't hot yet, so it never went up. So I think the first teretz is the main teretz over here. Okay, that is Sif Hey. So the kids of Sif Hey, we said if a tipa falls connected to the tafshil, we say it goes in, and you need shishim connected to tipa. If it fell connected to reikon, then we say the whole area is aser, and don't touch it, let it cool down, and then pour it out from the other side. Sorry, if it cools down, you can pour it out wherever you want.
Right.
But the pouring out right away, that's according to the shach, and only...
No, you don't pour it right away. Shach you don't pour it right away.
No, not in the second case, but in the first case, if it's connected the rotate.
Oh, that we'll see in the Ramah. The shach spoke it out in Sif Kan Yotes, and the Ramah speaks it out soon in Sif Vav. If it's connected to the rotate, we say the pot is aser, that area, and therefore you pour it out right away. So it comes out, if it falls connected to the rotate, in a way it's more chamerdik, that if it falls shlo connected to the roitiv. If it falls shlo connected to the roitiv, leave it. Don't touch it. If it falls connected to the roitiv, you got to pour it out right away.
Even though the...
But either way, the food is going to be... The food is
Either way,
in
the
both
food is...
cases.
Either way, the food is...
Pot is also in both cases.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah,
The question is, you have to pour it out right away.
The question is, what you have to
But
do.
you leave it.
So, and if it's connected to the raycon, you wait. And if it's right, you have to...
Right, you have chicken soup cooking in your pot,
Right.
and milk spritzes on the side of it. It depends. If it's connected to raycon, leave it.
Leave it, let it cool.
Leave it, let it cool. If it's connected to
You can't leave
roitiv,
it, let it cool, because Shabbos is coming. You don't have time.
we'll see in Sif Vav.
So you're okay. Now you're okay.
That's Zion.
That's
See, sign it as, yeah.
Zion is
Right.
Okay, yeah, from the time to go. Okay, let's start moving here a little bit.
Right.
Nagu ha'olam le'asak shenafal ha'dofer shelo keneged the roitiv. Now here comes the chumrah. This chumrah is if it falls shelo keneged the roitiv, if it falls keneged the roitiv, batal b'shishim. If it falls shelo keneged the roitiv, says the shach, says the mechaber, Nagu ha'olam le'asak shenafal ha'dofer shelo keneged the roitiv. If you don't have shishim pom of shishim, the minig is to aser. Don't let it cool down, it's not going to help. If you connected the reikon, there's no shishim pom of shishim, you say it spread a little bit, and then it came up, or it shook a little bit, therefore we say everything is aser. So now I go oilam le'asak shenafal al dofer shelo keneged the roitiv v'dafka, kishenofel, fine, before it is v'dafka. And the reason for that chumrah is, we just said, is because b'choshish that maybe he shook up the pot a little bit and it became aser. If you look in the shach, Sif Kan Chav Dalid,
Even the boiling of the pot itself could...
the boiling of the pot itself maybe brought it up. If you look at the shach Sif Kan Dalid, Nagu Oilam Harai Dahoy Achrein, V'Godl B'Doiroi, V'Izin, V'Chiker, Kol HaMenhagim, he checked into all the Menhagim, Kosav the Noyagim, Lahata, the Tinur, Commercial Kosav the Sifei. He says there's no chumrah here, no reason to be machmir over him. And what's the reason why there is machmir? If you look in the...
Would you say the Shach agrees with this because he brings the...
Yeah,
and
that's where the Shach
and also the
paskins.
Marshal?
That's where the Shach paskins. The Shach would say that it's mutter.
He disagrees with the mechaber.
Right.
What is argument?
This is the reason the mechaber,
Yeah.
correct. Correct.
But he's only talking about what the minhag is.
Yeah. Siv Kan Chav Hey in the Shach. Kshnafal al doifer near Dafka B'Gedei Yishanahu the Neigan Leser. Kshnafal Shlag Neged Roitiv. Vitam Shekosav Isra the Aruch. Techeshina Shema Ola Achakach Pam Achas B'Siches Hakadera V'Noga LaOyse Mixes Doifer Nagdei Shenesra. Adkan LaShaynoi. That's the chash. We that maybe it was bubbling the pot, and then after a certain amount told the roitiv, and then the roitiv went up, traveled up through the bubbling of the pot, and therefore we answer it. The minig is to answer it. And the shach says we don't have that minig. Says the mechaber weiter that all this medafka shenoifel v'oiset tzad she'ena connected eish. It's all if it fell on the side of the pot, it's not connected to the eish. The old pots, the old ovens used to have a fire middle, the pot next to the fire, so it could fall connected eish, and it could fall on the other side shaloi connected eish. So it's only if it didn't fall connected eish. Avam nafal connected eish mutter. She'ev soifoi im yavshoi. The Eish burns it up right away. A tipa falls on a pot, it gets burnt out from the Eish right away. But also Hakadera Nami Shari says it more. Even the pot is mutter. Because they never got a chance to go into the wall to the pot, because the fire burns it up right away. For Dafke Davar Muit, only for drop fog or tipo.
Are we holding that this is a little bit like Libun also? Even if it did go in, the fire...
No, it doesn't say Libun. No. Libun would be, it has to be a Libun, it has to be red hot.
Okay.
I was saying it never became awesome. For Dafke Davar Muit, again, tipo, Aval Nofal Harbe, a lot fell on it. Ein lahata fil nofal keneged eish, Elim keneged the roitiv ayidei samach. If a lot fell more than a tipa, it has to be keneged the roitiv, and samach then will matter it. Why? Because a lot doesn't get burnt out by the fire right away. A little bit, the fire burns out right away. Hago v'ol hakadei hava asura. So here the Ramah writes what the Shachar wrote in the test. Before it's keneged the roitiv, the kedera still stays also. Im yesh samach betafshol neged the tipa shenafel. And what's the halacha? V'yere miyad hatafshol amenu mitzad achar. Right away poured out from the other side. So neged the tipa. Why? Because otherwise it's a mvatlus lechatchila.
So l'chor today, our ovens, our stovetops come from the bottom, so everything is basically
Shleik Negadesh. Everything's Shleik Negadesh, yes.
Something like that.
Everything today is Shleik Negadesh. Right, correct. That finishes the Ramah. If you cooked another tafshel in the same pot, dinah k'moy b'pam rishon, the same din as like the first time, and it is asur. You need shishim k'neged the tipa, not more than the tipa. Shishim k'neged the tipa. Fine. Siv Zayin. Yes, mi shemate b'shasat chak, going by Shabbos, afil shloik k'neged the roitiv, afil shloik k'neged the eish, ayidei samach. Some people are matir ayidei samach. B'shasat chak. Now, what's it going on? What's this mechaber going on? So, if you look in the
against the what we just said, the nagu.
Right, the nagu was the what?
Nagu, that even though first he starts by saying it's mutter, the food is mutter.
But then he says nagu lesser, and then he says
it's going to be mutter.
Right. So if you look in the Shachar Kol Lamed, look at the Gedreitiv, v'oz yeniach ad sheyistanen k'mo shchosav v'siv vov. Right. So here it says yesh mi shemat b'shasat chak, going be'erev Shabbos, afil shloik neged the roitiv, afil shloik neged the eish, ayidei samach means you have shishim. Now this we didn't speak out yet till now. Why not? Why didn't we speak it out? I don't know. So Posha, I'm surprised no one spoke out till now. This tipa falls on the side of the pot, shloik neged the roitiv, right? You definitely have to still have shishim in the tafshel. Connected the tipa, because maybe it travels straight in and answers it. You definitely need shishim, right?
Even in the Reikon.
Even in the Reikon.
Right.
Even in the Reikon. Even in Sif Hey, which will make actually it's standing, and you should wait. You still need shishim in the tafshel, connected the tipa.
But we assume that because it's just the tipa, right? I mean, we assume.
Yeah, but you always have to shishim connected the tipa, and if it's a little more than a tipa. You don't say it spreads only till the tafshel and it's mutter. You need shishim in the tipa, in the tafshel for sure. Because maybe it goes straight in and then asses. That's what it means of ayidei samach. Right? So the Shach is learning and v'hochi nohog. And that's the meaning. So the Shach is learning that we're going to be matir, but we will machmir on and see vav, that we will makel on Erev Shabbos.
It's easy for the Shach. He was
makel anyway.
To begin with.
Yeah, he was makel anyway.
So.
But if you look in the Gra, he argues on that. The Gra says, "Asif Kotan Lamadalad, yes me, Shemat B'Shasat Chak, right? K'mar Shekosev Mordechai B'Shem Ravon, to learn Rinon B'Belua Chanan Klal." You don't say Belua, you don't say the B'Belua Chanan. That means the Gra will make Erev Shabbos B'Shasat Chak if the Shishim in the pot connected the tipa, even if it falls connected the raycon, it's no problem. Pour it out and connect at that place even. It's not a problem. You don't have to wait Asher Yitztanen. According to the Gra, you will not have to wait Asher Yitztanen. Why?
We never say Chanan.
Chanan by Blias. This that we said Chanan, this whole halacha here, that we say Chanan by Blias in the pot, is a chumrah.
So in hay, he
the
would
whole right.
So the Gra in hay would disagree with the Machaber, and he would say, why? No,
Erev Shabbos.
But according to Spiro, that in other words, you don't say Chanan by Bulua.
But the whole Sifei is not true.
Right.
The whole Sifei is not true.
If he has a Metzias that Chanan by Bulua doesn't exist, then that's going to happen on Erev Shabbos or on Tuesday.
Right. No. So Chanan and the Blues is where Machmer it does exist. That's Sifei. The Machmer that on Belize to say Chanan. That's why in the Shishim Pamashishim. Yesh Mishamata, the way the gross learning is, will make Erev Shabbos. We don't go with that chumrah of Chanan by Belize.
Oh, we don't go by that. Okay.
We don't go by that chumrah. We're going to hold Erev Shabbos. Just at Chalak will say there's no Chanan on Belize of a pot. Only in
because there are people that hold that.
Right. It's not a universal principle that Chanan that you don't say Chanan by Bulua.
Right. No.
You make that a universal.
Correct.
Principle.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
Over here we won't say it Erev Shabbos. Just at Chalak will be makel. We won't say Chanan by Belize in the pot. That is the Gra's Mahalach here, and the truth is the Tazla is the same way as the Gra in Semicha the Ches. When we get to Belias, the long Taz over there in Semicha the Ches, but Belias in the Kli, and the Taz says from here you see Zion, you see that B'Shas Chak will be makel, there is no Belias by Chanan, but there is no Chanan by Belias, and that's the Siv. You see the Taz also not like the Gra, that we could be makel that there's no Chanan by Blias at all. The Shachtar learned that way. The Shachtar learned we're only makel on Tzivav, but not makel on Tziv Hey. Machlokes of Tziv Zayin is Yesh Mishamatan on Tzivav or Yesh Mishamatan on Tziv Hey. And V'hachi Nog. That's the minig. Says the Ramah Vaita, V'im Nishpach Cholov or Shar Isser Seach al Gabi Karka. Like milk, hot milk pulled onto the karka of the zetana, whatever it was. V'amidai olav kedera, you put a kedera on top of it. Chama, you put a hot pot onto that milk. Imasha nishbach enei etzel ha'esh. If what fell on the floor is not by the fire, if it's by the fire, we'll see soon it's a regular kli rishon. They have a rak kli sheni. Then the cholav on the bottom is a klisheni. Well, the hakedera asura. The kedera is also the beleik tzas. The halacha is, if you have iloi govar, the top pot is cham is a klisheni. The cholav on the bottom is a klisheni. So what do you have? Hot going on to cold.
So we're going to say klisheni here is
it's cold.
It's cold, even if it's yatsa lettuce.
Correct. The yatsa is called a klisheni. Is called tzainin. And not just that, Tatoi Govar. Tatoi Govar, it's so cold that it cools down the pot. Tatoi Govar.
Why we don't say the floor itself cool down the milk? What's the difference? Just floor itself cool down the milk.
You don't need that.
Forget, everything is
if you
like
look at it, you don't need that. Anyway, it's cold, it's klisheni.
Yeah, but if it's
yeah, if it makes it cold, okay. Once it's cold, it's cold.
Although we did learn that there is a svara to say that even if it is yatsa lettuce, and the shita that says that even in a klisheni it's still considered.
Okay, right. Okay, we're not going with that.
So here the Ramah is not going with.
No, we're not going with that. Okay.
So something in a klisheni is cold as ice. Okay.
Right. It's a chiddush that even the Torah Gova. Even the Torah Gova is still here. So a person that argue on this. They're being arrived from this Ramah, not like the person. The person that say that if it's Chaim Klisheni, you don't see the Torah Gova. It's not cold enough to cool off the top one, right? The person that say that they're being arrived here not that way. From this Ramah, you see that a Klisheni has a din to Torah Gova. So therefore, if it's a Torah Gova, so Adchet Mitztanen is Belea Perta, Klipa, the pot is the Klipa. The tafshel is already past the klipa. Now, right away, if you look in the Lamed Beis, in the Shach Lamed Beis, in the Eitzel Aish, The imu eitzel ha'esh v'ucham pshit davik l'klirisha v'adif minay. If the milk is next to the fire and it's hot, it's a regular klirisha. It's a hot fire, not next to the milk. It's a regular klirisha.
But it's on the floor, though. I mean, how would it be next to?
On the floor, the floor of the oven.
On the floor of the oven.
Yeah, we're talking about the oven. Yeah, but it's talking about the floor of the oven.
It's
in the oven.
About the floor and the floor.
No, the floor and the oven.
That's what I thought.
No, it's talking about the floor and the oven.
Okay.
Would be a difference if it's nifsak akiluach. Because if it's
even if it's nifsak akiluach, if it's next to the fire is keeping a klirisha.
What's the case? You have some, but if it's far, if it's removed from the, it's on the fire. It's not on the fire. It's on the fire.
It's not on the fire. It's next to the fire. The milk fell on the floor of the oven.
Over.
Right.
It's spilled over.
So we're saying that it's still considered as if it's on the hot.
Right.
So okay. So
even if it's a kliluach, it doesn't make a difference.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Now, if you look in Lamed Gimel, same idea.
Even if cold milk would fall on the fire.
Yeah, but it's let this boy. If it's cold, we won't say that it's.
Well, it becomes hot. It's next to the fire.
Yeah, so if it's long enough, it becomes hot.
Yeah.
Fine.
Right.
In Lamed Gimel, it says the opposite. Vatavshel mutir, kosem ashal, the magdeira hirei sachas machmas eish, afil tavshel aser. If the Kedera is hot from the fire, but I mean it's still eitzel away, someone asked this question I think last or 2 weeks ago. A pot that's by the fire, there's no din that toy gover and loy gover. If a pot is still hot from the fire, it automatically overpowers everything else. Because it's still getting its heat. It's still getting its heat. That's this halach over here. Right. Someone asked if the toy gover and loy gover, if one of them is hot from the fire, it's still by the fire. Torah says if something is on the fire, not the toy gover and loy gover. Even if you hold the loy gover, and the bottom pot is on the fire, and the top one is cold, you're not going to say loy gover and it cools down the bottom one. Something that's still getting its heat from the fire automatically is gover. So if the pot is getting heat from the fire, you put it down in milk, you're not going to say the toy gover and the milk overpowers the pot. The pot is considered hot, and it's below everything through the pot into the tafshel. If you have something pouring out of a pot, it hits a cold pot. If it's nifsach akiluach, it stopped. Then something poured from a pot, and before it hit the second thing, nifsach akiluach, it's like a klisheni. It's like a regular irui. The kedera that's cold in the bottom is ases. If I yatsa ledas bikiluach, I'm a ger bikedera. But tafshel shabatayka shari for the same reason. The kiluach falls down, hits the pot. Iloi govar, satoi govar. I mean, the bottom one is cold. It ases kedei klipa. It ases the pot. The tafshel is mutter. The ain't iri oitzi rak kedei klipa. Iri only ases kedei klipa. But if the pot is hot, for who kli rishon, the pot's a kli rishon, so you have a kiluach pouring onto the pot, even if it's nifsach kiluach, the pot is hot, tatoy govar, now it asks the whole thing. But kolshkan oimed aleish, I feel like kiluach with training, hakol osir, everything is also the toy govar, tavik training, the toy cham, the kulay osir, from this bar the el simin sadiyal. Therefore, it's also because the kiluach poured onto a pot, which is tatoy goba, which is hot. The Shach in Sivkot Lamed Vav speaks out if the cholav comes down, hits the side of the pot. So it hits the side of the pot, l'chayra, it's zuei sazu. It doesn't go on top of the pot. The chulchem hit the side of the pot. So what is it? The toy gova, the bottom pot is hot.
It goes under it, right?
So it goes under it, then the milk is cold and the pot's on top. So then it's a shore. The milk is tato. We're talking about the milk came out and hit the pot. The pot is tatoy govar and it's hot. So that's the b'kuloi. Why is the pot tatoy govar?
Why is the Patato? So we had a
Why is the Patato? The milk goes under.
Because it's Amad Bimchama.
Yeah, we had a
Right, so it's stationary.
Yeah.
So if you look at the Taz asked the question, and he argues, but the Shach goes with that Rashba that says anything that's called Tato. If you look at the Taz,
Meat falling into milk.
Right.
The meat falls to the bottom.
Right, still the milk is called Tatoi because it's stationary. If you look at the Taz, in Chav Zayin, in the middle of the Taz, in the Old Shulchan Aruch is the last of the skinniest lines. The Fiyan is Vati Nira. Tumua. See it?
Yeah.
The Fiyan is Vati Nira Tumua. The Choshen Negea B'Kadeira ain't kan lo iloi v'lo keto. Ella hava l-liyu din noigim zeh b'zeh. It's like two things that are touching each other, next to each other. Why does the Ramah say Tatoi Govar, and therefore everything is considered hot? V'dinim evuir Semicha if Gimel dem echad tzayne v'sheni cham eini oiser l'kadei klipa. And the Taz stays Sarach Ian. The Shach and Sifkat Lamed Vav answers it. If you look at the Shach Lamed Vav, for the Domid the Kamat Semicha if Gimel Ba'God the Meniach Hetev Issa Zeh Etel Zeh V'echem Em Tzayne Saga B'Klipa. Why? To Hacha Kivin Shebo HaKiluach Mamayla Havik Mayla. So there's a different reason. The Kiluach is coming from the top. That's Ilah. Inami Kivin Deira Oimed B'M Kaimai Chashev Tata. So Deira is standing in his place, so it's called Tata, like the Rashba Spiro we had last week. Fine, let's just finish off the Remoya. Tipa Hanafelas Agabi Kisu Kedera, a tipa that falls on the cover of the Kedera. Dina Kinafla Agabi Kedera negative rative. Says if it fell on the Kedera negative rative, why? Because since it's bubbling, the Zayah goes up, it's all considered as part of the rative. Who? Shehiskala Kedera La Tiach. It started bubbling already. The Oz Oila Hazayah Tamit Magia. It goes up and down, the Zayah, and it's all considered like it is connected to our rative. That is the Ma. The Taz argues, if you look in the Taz of Chav Ches, halfway through, Ube'ikir din zeh, you see it? The dot. So in the Old Shulchan Aruch, there's 4 lines from the bottom. Probably like 2 or 3 lines into the Taz. You see it? Ube'ikir din zeh, Shekotzer Mo Kad Dinik Nafla Gabi Akadei Rishal Perk Al Basim and Vav Kralik Al Zeh, because in the Hidar is Sicha Oila Ad HaKisui, B'Kamokem HaRoitiv Einem Mitztaref Imo. V'im Kain Im Ein B'Kisui Samach Neged Isser Shnafaleh Nasa HaKisui Nevela, because we say it spreads out, it's a different fel connected to Reikon. So the Mo says Kisui is connected to Roitiv. The Taz brings from the Mashal that a Kisui is a dim like connected to Reikon. Fine, Arkan.